Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we're going to talk about CSS Transforms. So what do I have it with me? I have a div with class box. I have some basic styles on that div: width, height, background color and border, and this is how it looks. Transform contains four properties within itself: translate, scale, rotate and skew. We are going to take a look at each one of them respectively. We will start with translate. The word translate means, in programming, it means shifting an object, shifting an element from one place to the other. It can be either horizontally, either vertically, or in both the directions, that is diagonally. Transform, translate. This is how we write transform. Now, transform, translate can have one or two arguments. It can take arguments in pixels, percentage, EM, REM, whatever values, whatever units that you want to give it in. So I have put translate 100 pixels, 200 pixels on the box. What is happening is, from its original position, this box moved 100 pixel in the x-axis, 200 pixel in the y-axis and sat here. अपनी ओरिजिनल पोजीशन से 100 पिक्सल हॉरिजॉन्टल, 200 पिक्सल्स वर्टिकल, ये मूव हो गया. पहला आर्गुमेंट इज ऑलवेज इन द एक्स डायरेक्शन, सेकंड आर्गुमेंट इज ऑलवेज इन द y direction or vertical. Translate can accept only one argument as well. If I only give it 100 pixels, you will see it is only moving in the x-axis, in the horizontal direction. So you can either move it in horizontal direction or diagonally. What if you wanted to move it only in vertical direction? That is also possible. Not with simple translate, then you have to shift into the 3D transform category. So this transform, translate, or scale, rotate, skew, that will come later. These are 2D transforms. When you make it translate X or translate Y, similarly rotate XY, scale and skew XY, those are known as 3D transforms. And as you can see, translate Y100 moved it only vertically. However, translate X100, you will see, is no different than translate 100. Translate 100 pixels, translate X100 pixels are the same thing. If you want to move it only in vertical direction, then it is translate Y. When you have the axes X and Y, it is called as 3D transform, otherwise it is simple 2D transform. The unit can be pixels, percentage, EM, REM, whatever. Translate X or translate Y will not accept the second argument. If you want to give second argument, it has to be a simple 2D transform. Then you can give whatever argument you want to give it. Transform, translate. Transform, let's talk about now scale. Scale either zooms in or zooms out any element. Scale किसी element को बड़ा दिखाएगा या अपने original dimension से छोटा दिखाएगा. Scale also can accept one or two arguments. एक argument भी ले सकता है, दो भी. Scale, however, does not accept arguments in pixel, percentage, EM, REM, whatever. Scale only takes in numbers, simple numbers, which has to be greater than 0. If I give it scale, let's say 2, 3, this is what will happen. As you can see, the box has enlarged. जैसा कि आप देख पाएंगे, box बड़ा हो गया है. क्या हुआ है? यहाँ भी the first argument is width is applied on width, second argument is applied on height. यानी कि first argument horizontal direction में, second argument vertical direction में ही. 2 का मतलब है width multiplied by 2. इस element के width है अब 300. This 3 will be applied in height, यानी कि height हो गई है 450 pixels. So अब ये box 150 by 150 का नहीं, 300 by 450 का हो गया है. The first argument in width, second argument in height. अगर मैं इसको कर देता हूं ऐसे, you will see the height increasing to 600 pixels. If I give it like this, 4, the height and width both now are 600 by 600 pixels. However, 4, 4 can be simply written as just 4. Scale को अगर एक argument देंगे तो it will be applied both in the width as well as in the height. This again is a 2D transform scale. This is a 2D scale. If you wanted to give a 3D, either a scale X or a scale Y, all you needed to do was this scale X 4. What this will do, it will increase the width 4 times, the height will remain as is. If I make it scale Y, you will see the height being increased to 600, the width will remain as is. However, if I remove the scale for a moment, the point that I'm trying to show you is, at this moment, you can see all the 4 borders of the box. However, when I apply scale, and if I give it any value, let's say 2,3, the original one, if you can notice, the top and the left border of the box are now out of bounds. ये browser के window से बाहर चले गए. The box enlarged, but in that process, it went out of the browser window. It went out of bounds. Why did that happen? This is because in order to increase the size, in order to increase the width by twice, in order to increase the height thrice, browser took the center point of the box as its पिविट. ब्राउजर ने बॉक्स के सेंटर पॉइंट को अपना पिविट मान के वहां से उसकी विड्थ को ट्वाइस और हाइट को 3 टाइम्स किया है. इफ यू वांटेड कि ब्राउजर की विड्थ एंड हाइट बढ़े, बट द ब्राउजर शुड रिमेन इनसाइड द ब्राउजर इनसाइड द विंडो, you need to change the property called transform origin. By default, the transform origin has a value of center. As you can see, nothing has changed. However, if I wanted to keep the box inside the browser, this is what I should do. This is what I can do. Now, the width. Yes, the width is still increasing to 300, but 300, the starting point is now being considered as this point, top left. इस पॉइंट से 300 पिक्सल्स तक विड्थ गई है और इस पॉइंट को ओरिजिन मानकर 600 450 पिक्सल्स तक इसकी हाइट गई है. ट्रांसफॉर्म ओरिजिन. Similarly, you can have transform origin here as well. You can have on bottom right, bottom left, on so many points. By default, transform origin has a value of center. In that case, the center point of the box is the pivot or is the starting point from where the calculation is done. Scale X, scale Y comes into the 3D category. Let's also talk about rotate. Now, rotate, as the name suggests, will rotate this box either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Rotation does not accept pixel percentage. It does not even accept simple numbers. Rotation happens in degrees. You can have 1 degree, this is how it's written, and go up to 360 degrees. 360, of course, being the original size. If I make it a 90 degree, you will see the box. Actually, 90 will not work. If I make it a 85 degrees, you will see the box being rotated at 85 degrees. If you give it a positive number, the box will rotate in a clockwise direction. Let's say if I do it like this, it will rotate in the clockwise direction. However, if I give it a negative value, it will still rotate 20 degrees, but in opposite anti-clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Rotate. Minimum you can have 0 degrees, maximum you can have 360 degrees. Rotate again falls into the 2D category. If you wanted to have a 3D rotate, then it will be rotate X and rotate Y. Rotate X and Y, yes, are very interesting. Transform, rotate. If I do a rotate X and then do a 10 degree, if I make it a 50, now, in case you are not getting what is actually happening is, imagine a string horizontally into the center of the box. Box के center में एक धागा imagine करिए. आप उस धागे को अपना एक्सिस मान के इस बॉक्स को रोटेट कर रहे हैं. That is what is happening in rotate X. Let me also show you. Imagine a string here, and this box is now being rotated on this string. If I make it 100, this is what is happening. If I make it a 120, oops, and if I make it a rotate Y, now what is being happening? Now the string, now you'll have to imagine the string in the center but vertically. Imagine a string vertically from the box and you are rotating it on that string. Rotate X and rotate Y. If you want to further understand rotate X and rotate Y, I would suggest giving it a go in the inspect element. How you can do that? Let me just scroll it up a little. Yes. You can understand rotate X, rotate Y better from the inspect element. See, this is what is happening. This is rotate Y. You have to imagine the string in the vertical manner in the center of the box. This is rotate Y. And if I make it a rotate X, now this is what is happening in rotate X. If you want to make it rotate clockwise, then positive, and anti-clockwise in the negative direction. Rotate X, rotate Y. Rotate does not change or does not tilt the box, does not change the original dimensions of the box. Skew is a property that, yes, also rotates the box, but also changes its dimensions as well, or you can say stretches the box from its sides. What do I mean? You will understand in just 1 minute. Skew also takes argument in degrees. Rotate 10 degree, if I do a rotate 10 degree, you can see this is what's happening. As you can see, the dimensions are not changed. The box is not being stretched. However, a skew 10, you might see the box being pulled from the sides a little. To understand it better, if I do it at 50, as you now you can see the box dimensions being changed. If I do it 100, now you can see the box totally out of shape. This is because skew not only rotates the box but tilts it as well, stretches it a bit as well. Just like rotate and all the other properties, skew also has a 2D version. Skew, it also has a skew X and a skew Y as well. I'm leaving skew part for you guys to figure out. This is transform. It has 4 properties: translate, scale, rotate, and skew in 2D and in 3D. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video on transition.